Hi, everybody. My name is Lisa Ascolese, the inventress. I'm the CEO and founder of Inventing A to Z, and here on my podcast, the Inventress Podcast. So I'm beyond excited because I have a fabulous woman on our podcast today, and she's an author, she's an inventor, she's an everything, a mom, a grandmother, you name it. She's got it all. She's a powerhouse. I'd like to introduce to you Theresa Merritt-Watson, author of Black Tech. Yay! Good afternoon, Theresa. How are you?
I'm doing well. How are you doing?
I'm
I'm
fantastic.
so excited to be here, actually.
I'm excited to have you. We had our conversation a couple of weeks ago, and I was just so happy to hear about you and know what you're doing. And so right now, it's my secret. I want to tell everybody else about who you are. You're going to tell everybody about who you are and what you do.
Okay,
You got the
okay.
floor.
I have the floor. Oh, well, I'm Theresa Merritt-Watson, as we discussed. I am an author. I do I do write children books.
Mhm.
I'm on my second one, children book. I've written a book called Guide to Teen Parents, which focus on keeping teenage moms and dads in high school so they can complete that. I am
What's it called?
currently,
What's it called? What's that book called?
it's called A Guide for Teen Parents.
Okay.
I'm
Nice.
rewriting it, so I just was given the name. It's being rewritten right now.
Excellent.
So, and I work on a couple of projects that actually just focus on changing the trajectory of African American in education and economics, and that's what my thesis is focusing around. I'm currently um, working on my doctorate, and that is what I'm focused on. There's so much greatness in African American children and African Americans that I'm gonna say laying dormant because I don't fully understand what exactly is going on to why our system always show the African Americans in the negative. Something is, and I'm not sure that I understand it, but I'm attempting to be a solution
Hmm.
to some of the problems that we have in education and economics. That's what the goal is.
And how are you doing that?
I am doing that through a few things. I've
Hmm.
written a book, Black Tech, and
Okay.
I started out writing it in for higher grade in fourth, fifth, middle school. But then I decided that African Americans, to really bring this home, we have to start doing it at a much earlier age. We have to get our kids indoctrinated to the great things that we have done, that we have contributed to the development of this country at a much earlier age. It becomes part of their makeup, it becomes part of their system. So when they go to school, they know Gladys West, they know Jesse Russell, they know Lewis Latimer, and and they can stand on, like Lewis Latimer. He created created the filament for the light that we use today all over the world. Now we had lights, we couldn't keep them on, it wasn't stable. He made it what we have today, and so when people say, "Oh, I thought GE or some
Yeah.
other organization," they will go and be able to research what greatness Lewis Latimer
Right.
did. In fact, today I went to a class and I encouraged the students that because we're behind on knowing our history, and it's not just like all their fault, but it's deliberately done to make sure that the African American is kept in as a certain frame, a smaller frame. And I'm
Mhm.
saying, when you walk up to the elevator, students, just say, Alexander Mile open, like the Sesame.
Very
And
good.
so,
That's
and so,
genius.
yeah.
That is genius.
So that's what I
Say,
tell the
say it
kids.
again. Say it again because I'm going to be saying it. Say it out loud so everybody can hear you. Again.
When you walk up to the elevator, you say Alexander Mouse open, because he created the elevator door opener. And the young kids today don't know that we used to have an elevator, a person within, and usually it was a woman, usually she was white,
Hmm.
would be on the elevator stool, and she would have to open the door, close the
Yes.
door, go to the next floor, and all that. But Alexander created the elevator door opener. And so I'm trying to get them to catch up to what we have done, the greatness that we have done. Can you imagine a world with no elevator door, automatic door
So
opener?
is this in your book? Please tell
Yes,
me. It is
it
in your
is in
book.
my, it's in my book.
It's in your book. Yay. So,
Yes.
all right. So wait, before we continue, this is so interesting. I love it. So where can your book be found? Where can we find your book?
You can go to synergynetworkllc.com,
Synergy? Okay.
networkllc.com. And you also can go to synergytrainingsolutions.org, and that is primarily for people that want to buy a book for other students that may not be able to afford the book. So if if an organization wants to buy some books for students, we do it through the nonprofit. And you can get the book off Amazon, Barnes and Noble, and those places. And so this is what I'm telling the kids: engage yourself. We have to make this an effort, a conscious effort in bringing ourselves up to and knowing who we are. So what's the best way to do that? You start the kids young. You start them from home. And if the parents do not know, and I know the parents do not know because I sent the book out to adults between the ages of 20 and 85, and no one came back knowing more than two people.
Do you know why? I mean, well, we were not taught that in school. We were not taught that in school. And this is where it does come from parents, and our parents looking, doing our due diligence, researching our history. When I was a little girl, my father would tell me about people like Dr. Charles Drew. Dr. Charles.
Yes.
Okay, you know who that is, right?
I know Charles Drew.
Exactly, the blood clotting system in that nobody even knows about. You know what I mean? Kids
Right.
don't know unless, and this was my punishment, right? My dad would give me, he said, okay,
great punishment.
You're gonna look up this inventor and Dr. Charles Drew, read all about and give me a thesis. I was 9 on that's why I do what I do. Thank you, Daddy, right? But yeah, I love this. I love this because we don't know, because we're not taught, but it does come from the parents. If you're definitely not learning it in school. You're not learning Black history in school. I mean, today is better. I have to say, it's a lot better than it was.
Well, it's a lot better, but the presentation of Black history does not give you the sense of ownership, the sense of belonging, the sense of connectivity in the manner in which it is taught to students in school. And still, students will be in the 4th grade, and who do they know? They know Martin Luther King, maybe Jesse Jackson, maybe Rosa Parks. That is not a substance of history.
It's 4. They know four people. It's the truth. So, I mean, so what do you propose besides your book? Are you going into schools? Are you going into different districts?
Well, in fact, I was at Dionne Warwick School today, earlier this morning. And I go into the schools, I do libraries. In fact, I did a senior group on Monday. So I'm going because when I was asked, one of the things I know for a fact is that everybody needs to know the history.
Yes.
When I'm reading or talking about Black history, talking about the importance of Black history, very seldom do I have, I knew the people that I called out in the audience, it was about 75 people. Not one, like I said, do you know who had created the GPS? Not one senior. I'm talking about senior. Everybody is 55 or older. I think the oldest lady is about 85. No one knew. Did anyone know who created the security system? No one knew. And so I have to encourage them too. When you hit those numbers to turn your security system on, think about Miriam Van Britten Brown. This is what I'm telling you. This Miriam Van Britten Brown. She has a full name, but she did a marvelous job. And so when we think about Marion Croak, she did voice over IP. This is the reason why I can talk to you right now. but we don't think about our Black people when we're doing something that's so profound. It is a miracle, I call it myself, that I can see you and talk to you, but a Black woman
It is
did
a
it.
miracle. I didn't know
Yes,
that. Okay, so I did
yes.
not know that. I did not know. So I have to tell you, many of my clients, I mean, I've been doing what I do for years and years and years, right? And so years ago, my clients, and not that long ago, would say, I really don't want to put my picture on the package, as a Black person. I don't want to put my picture. I said, you better put your picture on the package. I want your picture on your bio. I want your picture everywhere because people don't know. Think. They don't think about, who the inventor is, right?
Right.
Typically.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, even for you're talking about Procter and Gamble and companies like that, but there are people of women and men of color who are inventing the products that you see on shelves today.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? So put your picture there. Tell your
And
story. Don't
yeah,
stop telling your story.
I think the reason that one of the things when you say that, I look at people, when I was thinking about putting my house on the market, I said,
Mhm.
well, okay, but you got to take all your Black pictures down,
Mm.
you know, and until we start pushing back on the idea that if it's Black, it's not good. If
Correct.
it's Black, it won't sell. If it's Black, it get low volume, low quality. And so if we don't start pushing back on some of these things, we always accept it. I think for education, um, now I am getting a doctorate in education, leadership and policy. So,
Yep.
um,
Go ahead.
but I think that I'm not the traditional education person because I think that changes need to be made. And a lot of time people want to make the changes, but they don't want to go against. And you don't want to go against because there there are billions of dollars being made off of Black people deficiencies. So they claim deficiency. So you never tap into it. So I want to give you an example. You
Okay.
give it a kid. I say this because I've tutored all my entire life
Mhm.
since I've been 6 years old.
Wow.
And so, I grew up with most of my cousin. I have 45 first cousins. And so,
You
when
got
you
a
have an
teeny little
array,
family. A teeny little family you have.
when you have
That's a
an
lot of
array of people in your family, one of the
uh
things that you do, everybody has strength and, weaknesses. And so you help where you need to be.
Mhm.
But I look at a kid in first grade, and by 9 weeks, by the ninth week, you can see the deficiency in the child. That is a point in time that you correct those deficiencies so
Mhm.
that the child can move on. But in our system, a lot of time in our system, we just keep going because we have this curriculum we have to follow.
That's
We
correct.
have this test that the kids have to be prepared for. And as you see, the kids are not generally prepared for it. It's marked for the third grade. So what
Yes.
happens is that we keep passing on. And then by the third grade, any child is not proficient, they know it. So you teach the kids more than just the fact that you passing them on, you teaching them how to lie and try to sneak and get by with it.
Mhm.
And so that's what our system do. And so the people that's most profoundly impacted by that are the African American kids. And so what I'm saying is that you could take a kid that's they say deficiency and work with that child, and you just try to and you look at the brilliancy in the child.
Mhm.
Why, and so I think I keep telling myself, Theresa, school was not designed with us in mind initially. And then we never insisted on, when they did give us Black history, I went to school, they gave us history where Africa was presented in a savage type way. And
Yeah.
now we have to look at our map. We have to look at our map as Africa being a small country, when in fact, you got five countries, yeah, Germany, um, Ireland, and you got five, six countries could sit in Africa, but it's presented in a smaller frame. So it tells you, if you take a look at some of the things that's related to Black people,
Mhm.
it's in a smaller frame than the traditional thing than other people, and so we have to buy into it. So what I did, what my company has done, what we as a team have done, is
Mhm.
that we created this program called Lead and Read because it is
Read and
time that
read.
we get back on track. And Lead and Read what they do is the African American church
Mm-hmm.
will join become a member, and their members of that church will get a student, an African American student in the community, and that student will call the volunteer from the church once a week, and they will read to that volunteer for 10 minutes. And you have to start out with 10 minutes because you don't, if a kid is not used to reading, 10 minutes is a long time.
It is right. That's right.
And
Mm-hmm.
so the goal here is to reach more than what some of our organizations are doing. I know there's a huge church I know, and in their reading program, they have 10 students, and the church probably have 400 people. And so that's one of the programs that comes off on, it starts on July 1st.
Good, good,
Trying to
good.
get out, yes.
July
And
1st.
so July 1st. And so
Okay.
that's one of the other reading program, one of the programs that we are really pushing to impact the reading for our kids.
Mm-hmm.
And a lot of people, my white friends will say, well, we want to join. I think it's important that African Americans jumpstart our movement in education and economics.
Mm-hmm.
And so, we have programs that we teach and tutor, like parenting. We also have a 3P program that focuses on it focuses on building children's self-esteem, focus on their academic, it impact their self-esteem. I don't know why I couldn't get that out because I know it by heart.
You need a sip of water. It's hot outside today. So
yeah, so those are things that we're doing to make sure that we have a profound impact on our community.
So when you say we, so this is the company, I want to make sure that the listeners and the viewers out there are getting where they can go to find all of these texts that you're doing. So you have the church, you have Lead and Read. Can everybody be a part of this? Is there a website that they can go to
Yeah,
find?
the website is synergytrainingsolutions.org.
Synergytrainingsolutions.org. So when they go to synergytrainingsolutions.org, they can find where they can go for Lead and Read, or they can you're providing this for, is it children in one community? Have you started small? Tell me.
Well, actually, it's funny you say that because we have a team in Washington State.
Okay.
And we have
I want to know. And I'm taking notes. When I put my head, when I look down, I'm taking notes.
We have a team in Washington.
Go ahead.
We have a team in Washington State. He's so excited. He called me today. You want to change the date to earlier, or and so we have a team in Sacramento, and they actually are starting later than July 1st. It's and we have a team that's in North Carolina, one in Georgia. So we have teams that are people that are committed to joining. And so we're having a training session, just an information session is what I should say. And so that's one of the key things. Everything is online.
Can anybody join this training session? Is it a Zoom call? Are you advertising it?
I am advertising. So when they register, we send them back to Zoom.
Okay. Okay. Great.
Because we have a limited amount of people that can go on Zoom, but they could call in. So we put the number on, and when people register, we just go on and do that.
I love that. So,
and so, it's just, it is an effort, an active effort for us to really try to change how we fit in. Because I look at when I'm even the kids that's misbehaving, when you have deficiency, one of the things you do act out. People are talking about, well, she misbehaved. And then when you start talking to the kids and working with them, you see that they have some type of psychology could probably explain it better, feeling a notion about where they are in relationship to the rest of their peers.
Mm,
And so this is a way that I can get attention is by misbehaving. And
right.
so I think that that is one of the things that we sort of fly by, and we don't nurture like a gift of a child. Actually, every child
Absolutely.
has a passion.
I agree with you. So, I mean, I do a lot of teaching. I teach at the Dionne Warwick Institute as well in Asbury Park, and all of these incredible young people. My classes, uh, my inventing classes, uh, problems,
Oh,
challenge,
wow.
and problems, challenges, and solutions. Right. So in the class, it's a free for all for me because I want them to speak and not. I mean, people say acting out, but they're showing themselves. Right. They're showing who they are
Right,
because school is so academically structured that children are typically not able to vocalize or verbalize what they're feeling or what their thoughts are. So you may be putting A, B, C, D on the board and have something different to say about it, but they're so it's so structured in a way that they're not able to be their own creative selves. Just be themselves and talk about, right? Vocalize what they're
right.
feeling. So I love what you're doing in going into the schools and doing, teaching them and giving them an opportunity to open
Well, I
up.
would rather, one of the things that I think teachers, when I first started my program, in my mind, what I wanted to do was create a curriculum that overlay the teachers, whatever curriculum a teacher is using. Because what I
Mhm.
wanted to be able to do is overlay the ability for them to nurture a student passion. And
Yes.
so what I found, I remember this in one of the classes of a student. The student went in and the teacher asked people what did they do for the summer. And people said, she was telling the story to me. She said, well, I only had one kid in there that probably did anything that's worth any value during the summer. And I took a step back
Hmm.
and I said, well, how did you conclude that? She said, well, their parents can't afford to do this, this, that, and the other. And if I said, well, that's
That's
not that's not the marker to determine whether you did anything intriguing during the summer. And this is where I came up, we talked about it for a long time. She was very apologetic because I went into depth about how people learn.
hmm
What do you learn from your kid, your parents teaching, doing, or involving you in certain things. And so one of the kids, his father is a mechanic. And so what
hmm
his father would ask him for is to cut me 13-inch pipe.
hmm
So, and he would do that so much, he could just eyeball, second grade, eyeball what 13 inches. And so that gives him a sense of estimation, which gives him you think he's strong in math because it automatically come to him, but his exposure to that has lent itself to him being stronger in math because of the work that he do with his father. That
hmm
their family is not wealthy, and so what I say, and he loves working on cars. His idea now is to work at a car company and build and design cars. Now,
Oh my God.
that didn't just pop up,
No.
but no one, when you're in school, you can nurture and say, okay, John, you know, what do you think is the length of this pencil?
Yeah.
Or John, how when he gets, I guess this would be like, what is pi? What is the meaning of it? If you're in third or fourth grade. And so I'm just saying there's ways that we can do it, but we take the kids where the parents are scientists, are teachers, or what have you, and you figure that they have had some exposure. And
hmm
so those are the people that you will go and say, what do you think it would take for you to design a dress? Well,
Yeah.
here's John over here that has a purpose and something for you to nurture as well. Every kid have something that you can
They
nurture. I
sure
don't care where
do.
they come from. I don't even care.
Absolutely.
Yeah. And that's
Look at
what we're
look at my
missing in
punishment.
this.
Look at my punishment. Look at my punishment at 9 years old, right?
And it was nurtured, right?
It was nurtured. I didn't
Yes.
know my father was, I didn't know that it would turn into what I do for a living, inventing, you know,
Yes.
an inventor, right?
And
What,
that's what I'm saying. And
what,
you could start it at home.
and you can
You know,
start
I
at home.
I'm a
Yeah.
big proponent. I feel like I know this to be true, but I've gone to school board meetings and it always tickled me that we had a school board meeting talking about children that belong to some parent, and but you never mention the word parent in a
Yes.
school board meeting. And so what it tells you is that the school has basically taken over our children and we have allowed it. What you do is that you need to partner with this with the parents. And you,
100%.
yeah, you need to be able to partner with the parents, and then you'll be able to see what the kids have learned. I tell people I came back, you know, I'm from the South, right? And it's so funny because I was telling Gary that one of the things that used to make me feel so uncomfortable as a child is Miss Harrison used to come to our house. She didn't call or any of that. She just come on
To
a
teach.
Sunday afternoon after church, you know. So,
Oh my gosh.
but she was my first and fifth grade teacher. And I was just totally, you know, dinner was quiet, you know, six, you know, I have five siblings, and my mother and father would be sitting there talking to Miss Harrison, and she would tell them all about what I'm doing and things, take a piece of cake home, you know, that kind of stuff. But she knew what we knew, what we got involved in. And, you know, so this is um this is what I hope to do in my life, is to actually change and be
But you can.
an
Yes, you
important.
are. You're
Yeah,
making it happen right now. So
yes,
appreciate you sharing all of this information with us. Again, please repeat where they can buy your book.
you
When
can.
we put this up on, when they see this on, everybody out there will see how to find you, how to find your book. Appreciate your ability to educate all of these children, as many children as you can, with the lead and read. Love that so much. And again, let's talk about your website one more time.
Well, you can order the book for Synergy Training. I'm sorry, I do this one first. It's
Okay.
synergynetworkllc.com.
Okay.
And that one is my company. And that's when people just want to buy the book.
Okay.
And synergytrainingsolutions.org, if you want to donate a book to a student, you can go on that website. And you can also order the book from Amazon, Barnes and Noble. You can call your library and ask them to order the book. And I
And
do
that's
that
Black
because a
Tech,
lot of
everybody.
times,
It's Black Tech, Black Tech.
Black Tech, um, Leaders in Technology by Theresa Merritt-Watson.
Yay.
So, but I wanted to, when people get the book, one of the things I really have enjoyed learning more and more about the power of an eagle. I work with an organization and three Ps, and they talk about soaring and soaring. And so as I looked up some of the things that relates to the most powerful ones, I came up with an eagle because in life itself gives you challenges. And an eagle can be attacked by a snake. Rarely will you ever see him fighting. What he does is he takes off and soar into the air into an altitude where the snake can no longer breathe. So he's forced to drop him. And so when you have the challenges through life, if you have some deficiencies in something, you just keep trying. I can tell you my deficiencies, and I just keep trying. And so occasionally, if I talk too fast, you may hear it, but you just keep moving. And that's what I want the students to do, is be a reminder that they are like an eagle. You get something that stops you, just keep moving until it has to turn you loose. So that's the end
You're
of my
amazing.
story.
You're amazing. This was so powerful. We could talk like this for 3 hours. I mean, as we did, I think, on the phone a couple of weeks ago. You're such an interesting, incredible, powerful person. And thank you for sharing your knowledge and your book, Black Tech. And are you on social media?
I am. I
What
am.
What are your platforms?
Well, I am on we just revamped it yesterday. They sent us some stuff, but I am on X or Twitter.
Oh,
I
the new
am
web. I
on,
have to get that in my head too. X. Okay.
yes, yes.
What is
Um,
it on X? What are you called on X?
Theresa Merritt-Watson.
Theresa Merritt-Watson. Okay, so when
It's author Theresa Merritt-Watson.
does it say?
And yes, author.
Okay, author Theresa Merritt-Watson.
And then Instagram, Facebook, um, YouTube, and LinkedIn. We had them all redone, so
So they're all Theresa Merritt-Watson,
Mhm.
author Theresa Merritt-Watson.
Yes.
Okay, good. Because there's a lot that everybody out there needs to hear your voice, read your book. You're doing an amazing, amazing job. I'm looking everything up tonight. I'm going to
Okay.
read a book. Whatever I need to do to support you and what you're doing, your efforts, I will absolutely do that. So
I want to
thank
say to you before we go is
yes.
that at DM Warwick School, the kids were already brilliant. They knew a
Tell me
lot of
about
the
it.
they knew a lot of the people. They raised a hand, and when I said, well, do you know what Gladys West invented? And many of the students just shouted. I said, oh, this is my school.
Oh no.
This is
Oh no. Make no mistake. That school, and she goes there. She goes,
Yes.
visits, she provides whatever they need. It's the most
Well,
amazing school I've ever walked through any school doors. The most amazing school ever. The kids
I
are
enjoyed it.
educated, and that's because of their environment. I mean, they have parents who are involved, 100% involved, if they can be.
I,
And
I and they ask intelligent questions. I
they
mean,
do.
I just like, oh man, this is good.
They're smart.
So,
They're smart. And knock your socks off, right?
they did.
You thought you were going to teach them something. They taught you something.
Yeah, they really enjoyed it. People ordering the book while I was there and things. I enjoyed that class, by the way.
Good, good, good.
Yes.
Listen, it was wonderful having you here today. I'm definitely going to have you back. Would you mind coming back?
I don't mind coming back at all.
Okay, good, good, good. So Theresa, thank you again for being here. And
Thank you.
we have all of your social media platforms here and everybody can see it and hear it. And you have a blessed, blessed day. And thank you again for sharing your knowledge and information. And we'll see you
Thank
again
you
soon.
for having me.
You're very welcome. You take care. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.